Construction is a slightly elevated industry that encompasses a broad variety of activities, including constructing, developing, renovating, and eventually dismantling infrastructures, civil engineering service, and electrical engineering. Construction is unquestionably a high-risk business. Employees who regularly work from a height, using dangerous equipment and gear, and performing jobs on risky work sites. Identifying and managing risk necessitates competence, careful preparation, and the ability to make sound judgment fast. Financial risk strike at the core of a company, depriving it of resources and limiting cash flow. Financial risk may manifest itself in a variety of ways, such as consumers failing to pay for their purchases and suppliers failing to deliver merchandise. Financial risk and construction go synonymously, and the greater the distance between a firm and the main contractor, the more hazard it bears. First, material problems. Both material cost arises or material is being thrown away as a result of poor storage. Due to late delivery, either the site lacks of the necessary supplies to complete a project, or the team misunderstands the project material requirements. Second, late payment, which a paymaster failing to pay within terms specified in the contract. The parties engaged in the settlement claim process, like the client, project manager, may lead a settlement to be deferred. Third, unfortunate event that unavoidable, like the COVID-19 outbreak, cause a project suspension and cost overruns. Lastly, not hiring the right team. Although everything is being managed successfully, incompetent subcontractors can create costly disruptions. First, high material cost. Cost of materials may be expensive than before. Same goes to machine, which already needed big cost as every material and machine are needed. Second, unable to earn the revenue on time. Late payment may result in large imbalance between revenues and expenses. Third, huge losses due to MCO. The income from authorized construction works dropped by 55.3 billion ringgit opposed to 94.6 billion ringgit. The construction industry sustained losses of about 11.6 billion ringgit. Lastly, low quality work. It may lead to client refuse to give full payment or had to redo properly, which it lead to extra costs.
Next is the physical risk. Examples of the physical risk in a construction industry are fatal injuries, death, fall, trips and slips, and musculoskeletal disorder as MSDS and other disorders experienced by the worker. Next is the causes of the physical risk are because of the unsecured scaffolding or ladders, tangled wires and loose cables in the construction sites. Other than that, lack of safety on nets and quadrats, and also unprotected edges that can be dangerous for the workers. Poor maintenance, machines or equipment and workers with lack of training and unskilled can lead to a physical risk in the construction industry. Lastly, wet environments and slippery surfaces, as all these causes can result to the injury, death and other difficulties. The effects of the risk are physical disability and death of workers. Workers will lose jobs due to the injuries. The more likelihood accidents happen will make workers to feel unsafe and workers may feel life-threatening. The company can have a shortage of employees and be sued or fined for any negligence activities. Lastly, workers also can experience musculoskeletal disorder, MSDS, and hand and vibration syndrome disorder.
Okay, next is technical risk. So what is technical risk? Technical risk is a problem that can obstruct the entire infrastructure, system and project when it should be implemented but does not work as expected. Include designing of building process, delay project deliveries, the wrong or improper use of equipment and machinery, as well as poor site management leads to poor execution. The cause of technical risk might arise due to the design process, usually an amendment or addendum changes made from the original contract that will require additional scope of work for reasons such as error and omission or ambiguous construction design process. Second causes of technical risk are due to the improper planning made by the contractor itself. It should be done before the project starts. Otherwise, construction delay falls upon, as well as increasing the debt cost of the organization. In addition, heavy equipment accident due to inaccurate use of equipment and machinery. Construction machines and equipment cannot move on their own. The accident does just not happen if there is negligence with their own duties. Last but not least, the incomplete site analysis can lead to cost of risk. The size of project is uncertain. Larger size of construction project become uncertain. For instance, the space for construction site is small but the project requirement needs a big space. The effect of technical risk towards the change orders may give direct effect to labor productivity. As a result, from this disruption would lead to worker productivity degradation. Another effect of technical risk is delayed deliveries. Poor planning made by the organizations means that the schedule must be followed by all the construction labor, however, the schedule is not set up. Next is run the spectrum from having a minimal cost to calamity. Organizations might consider the costs which include lost productivity, equipment downtime, lost operator wages, utilities, and most critically, customer service. Lastly, poor site management creates a trust issue between clients and organization because when the project has not met the requirement and failed to deliver the service as the promise were not kept.
Construction projects involve a variety of dangers which are mitigated by adhering to required safety regulations. Contractors implement strict health and safety cultures to protect their employees and lower the risk of workplace injuries in order to remain in this ultra-competitive industry. Natural disasters, weather, and seasonal effects are all examples of environmental risk. First cause is the weather, which the construction industry depends on it. The environment, geography, and local weather all have an influence in the project planning and design. The second cause is air pollution. There are many sources of air pollution such as the release of smoke and also the burning of waste. The third cause is deforestation. Deforestation means that the forest has been destroyed for development purposes such as urbanizations and construction projects. Lastly, noise and vibration. The sound of pile driving or the mechanical driving of specialized poles into the earth to provide foundational support for buildings is recognizable to anybody who has lived or worked near a construction site. The first effect is project delays due to the weather. For example, in Malaysia, the heavy rains such as during monsoon season and extreme heat might cause a construction project to be delayed. The second effect is workers' health drop due to the air pollution. The air that the construction workers breathe may be polluted due to the construction work. The third effect is it will give effect to the flora and fauna. Variety of plant species and animals, especially wildlife, will be treated. The last effect is disturbing the public peace that occurs due to the noise and vibration from the construction works. Construction sites must keep noise and vibration to a minimum so as not to disturb the surrounding area.
The phrase culture refers to a society's value, ritual, traditions, and business practice which all have major influence into how a construction work is run and operated. Culture risk is a word that encompasses humanity's action, including people's attitude, education, values, and views, as well as the concept of risk that a number of humans understands once they have a common goal. Culture risk affects both private and public entities, including governments and non-profit organizations such as construction firms. The first reason is because working in a multicultural workplace creates obstacles to communication and cooperation. When project participants come from various cultures, there may be large communication difficulties and bad teamwork, and communication within the construction environment could threaten the project success. Second causes are language obstacles. Contracts are generally prepared in more than one language in multinational projects. The ruling language for contract execution and in the event of a dispute is a measure of danger for contractors. The third cause is legislation, which is linked to the risk involved with traditional dispute settlement techniques and the applicable law in the event of a conflict. Last causes are construction process and supplies. The methods and techniques applied in the construction as well as the technology used are heavily influenced by culture. As one might think, managing ethnically diverse human resources is one of the most serious concerns when it comes to cultural risk. The majority of the organization, especially the managers, had trouble misunderstanding and embracing culture and the needs of people from various cultural backgrounds, including religious belief, which appear to be the important points related to cultural risk. Furthermore, because language is the most significant medium of communication and is frequently used to differentiate one culture from another, one of the implications of cultural risk is communication management. Language differences can be a major cause of communication challenges when dealing with persons from various culture backgrounds. Other than that, safety management was also considered as one of the main consequences of cultural risk. Aside from communication issues, the most influential practice when dealing with people from diverse cultures is safety application. Finally, due to cultural differences, negotiating is one of the most challenging and crucial tasks that multinational management confront in their organization. Many of the rules and regulations that apply in one country may not apply elsewhere.
The first risk, which is financial risk, is in the red box on the second row from top. The table above shows that the financial risks have severity in scale 5 and likelihood in scale 4. Next, the physical risk is in the orange box on the first row from top. The physical risk has severity in scale 3 and likelihood in scale 5. The technical risk is in the yellow box on the second row from below. The technical risk severity is in scale 4 and the frequency is in scale 2. The environmental risk is in the yellow box on the third row from top. From the table, we can see that the severity and frequency scale of the environmental risk are 3. The cultural risk is in the green box on the second row from below. We can see that the cultural risk is in scale 2 for the severity and frequency.
First, ikhlas contractors or risk takaful certificate. This product ensures contractors from unanticipated unintentional loss or damage caused by numerous hazards affecting the construction activities. The firm will charge up to 30% of the takaful contribution as an upfront wakalah fee. It can cover whenever there are losses in construction industry due to any unfortunate event like COVID-19. Second, machinery breakdown takaful. This product covers physical damage to machinery such as defective design, lack of expertise and error in operations, subject to a RM250 minimum contribution. The coverage period is 1 year, must be renewed every year. It can be used whenever there is losses due to machinery breakdown.
The suggestions of the takaful's product that's suitable for physical risk is ikhlas contractor all risk, takaful by takaful ikhlas. It covers the employees if they suffer from a sudden physical loss and accidentally bodily injury or illness of a third party. The coverage periods for this takaful product is based on the durations of the project contracts, including the times of maintenance. The company needs to pay the takaful contribution based on the risk and exposure employees face as well as the company's underwriting standards. The next takaful product is Pro BSN SME at work by Prudential BSN Takaful. These products offer the employers to provide the employees protections and a good environment for the workers' well-being. There are a few options such as Group Terms Takaful GTT, Group Accidental Death and Disablement Benefit GADD, Group Critical Illness Benefit GCI, and Group Hospital and Surgical Benefit GHS. It must pay annually by check or online transfer, and it need to renew the certificates annually 30 days before the expiration dates. The coverage period also depends on the company and employers, and it expires at 70 years old and maximum renewal age at 69 years old.
The first takaful product for technical risk is Ikhlas Contractors All Risk by Takaful Ikhlas General Berhad. This product provides the benefits to labor construction against unforeseen events of loss or damage due to the existence of hazard that affected the project to perform well as in planning. Second takaful product that might be suitable for technical risk is Equipment's All Risk Takaful by Zurich Takaful. This is because the cost of repairing such goods is generally high. The low-cost takaful offers participants a wide variety of advantages and the ability to expand coverage options.
The first one is Contractors All Risk or Erection All Risk Takaful by Zurich Takaful. This takaful product provides coverage on all risks and generally covers from any losses and damage due to fire, water damage, flood, and aircraft damage. The second takaful product for environmental risk is Provis Protect by Prudential. Under Provis Protect, there are many basic plans which are Pro With You, Protect Booster, ACCI Guard Plus, ACCI Med Plus, ACCI Income Plus, and Payor Basic.
There is no specific insurance coverage for cultural risk, but there are many insurance coverage for construction sector. For example, are A Essential Business, which is commercial insurance by AIA Public Takaful Berhad, and Erection Construction All Risk Takaful by Takaful Malaysia. For A Essential Business, the coverage period is 1 year and it can be renewed annually. A Essential Business insurance protects the company and the premise where the activity takes place. as well as providing a financial safety net to help enterprise cope with the consequences of an unforeseen event. Second takaful product is erection, construction, or risk takaful that provide adequate protection for construction companies to fulfill their contract agreement for projects that involve the erection of machine and equipment. Conclude, construction is among the most dangerous industries on the world. The construction sector needs to establish a comprehensive risk assessment and risk management strategic planning,